Story time, Bible story time. Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to Bible 365, Bible Stories and Prayers, where we read one Bible story a day for 1 year. Yesterday, or last time, we were reading Jacob Has Many Sons. So, the day prior, we read Jacob's uncle Laban had 2 daughters, Leah the elder and Rachel. Jacob fell in love with Rachel. Jacob offered to work for Laban for 7 years if at the end of the time he could marry Rachel. Laban agreed, so he decided to trick Jacob. The 7 years passed quickly. Little did Jacob know that Leah was to be married in her sister's place. Jacob was very sad and angry when he realized he had married the wrong sister. Later, Laban agreed to let him marry Rachel as well, and Jacob had 2 wives. He served for 14 years, 7 for both ladies, and then Jacob has many sons. Leah knew that Jacob loved her sister, Rachel, more than he loved her, and this made her sad. But soon Leah had a baby, a little boy called Reuben. Leah and Jacob went on to have many more sons, but no more babies came for Rachel. Jacob had 10 fine sons. After Reuben came Simon, then Levi and Judah. The other sons were called Dan and Naphtali, Asher and Gad, Issachar and Zebulun. Jacob and Leah also had a daughter named Dinah. Rachel was very sad that she had no babies at all. She prayed and eventually God answered her prayers. Jacob and Rachel had a son called Joseph. So now today we're reading Jacob Goes Back to Canaan. Genesis 32 verse 1 through 21. Many years later, Jacob decided to return home to Canaan with his wives and family. But on the way, he became afraid. Jacob knew that he had treated Esau badly, and he was scared of meeting his brother again. Now, I'm going to pause for a second. I normally don't do that, but I wanted to remind you guys the reason Jacob was afraid was because many chapters ago, we read, at that time it was important for a dying father to bless his eldest son as the new head of the family. Isaac sent Esau out hunting so that they could share a meal of Isaac's favorite meat before the blessing. But Jacob remembered the bargain he had made with his brother. Only if you agree that I will be the number 1 son and the head of the family when our father dies, that he had swiped his place as the number 1 son for a bowl of lentil stew. Jacob wanted to be sure that he would be the one to receive Isaac's blessing. What is more, Jacob's mother, Rebekah, was on his side. So Rebekah made a plan. If Jacob pretended to be Esau, Isaac would never know because he was blind. He would bless Jacob instead of Esau. While Esau was out hunting, Rebekah wrapped the goat's skin around Jacob's arms so he would feel hairy like his brother Esau. She dressed him in Esau's clothes and then sent him to Isaac with the food. Is it really you, Esau? Isaac asked his son. Yes, I am Esau, Jacob lied to his father. So Isaac prayed for God's blessing on Jacob. When Esau returned and took food into his father, he found out what had happened. He was so angry that Rebekah was afraid he would kill Jacob. She persuaded Isaac that it would be a good time for Jacob to go away to find himself a wife. This way, he would be out of danger. So that's the reason why, in this chapter right here, 32 and 1, why many years later, Jacob wanted to return home, but he was afraid of his brother because he knew what he had did earlier. So finish reading, and I'm going to start from right here. And it says, and he was scared of meeting his brother again. Would he be forgiven, or would Esau still want to kill him? So Jacob sent messengers ahead to find out. On their return, the messengers told Jacob that Esau was on his way and with 400 men. Jacob felt sure that his brother was going to attack him. He chose some of his best animals as presents for Esau. And the reason he did that, I'm pausing again, is because he was hoping that if he gave his brother presents, that the presents would make up for the thing that he did wrong years earlier, which was trick his father instead of blessing his brother Esau. His father Isaac did bless Esau as well as he blessed Jacob, but the bigger blessing went to Jacob instead of Esau. He sent these ahead to Esau with his servants. He hoped this would make his brother feel more kindly towards him. Alone in the camp, Jacob worried about seeing his brother again and prayed to God for help. You promised to look after me, he said. Please save me from my brother. Or what did you read? What did you read?
Okay. This is Dad.
That's Jacob praying to God.
Yeah. He's so worried.
He's so worried about what?
He's worried.
Why is he worried?
He was scared.
Okay.
I love it.
So I thank you, boys and girls, for listening and watching and reading with me.
Thanks for watching.
The next time we're going to read Jacob Wrestles with God, Genesis 32 and 22 through 33. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next one. Later.
Sweet water, sweet darling, subscribe.